There was a time in our youth when dining out wasn't just about grabbing quick meals. It was about creating memories that stuck with you, even today. Imagine crafting the ultimate burger at a fixings bar, or stepping into a whimsical diner where breakfast was served with a side of stories. Many of these places have been long gone. Some still exist today, but not as you remembered, or just not local to you. These are the forgotten restaurants from the 70s we want back. Be sure to stick around for the last one because this pizza place could make its way east of the Rocky Mountains. Burger Chef. Would you believe Jan Brady from the Brady Bunch worked at a Burger Chef? Fast food pioneers Frank and Donald Thomas founded Burger Chef in 1954 in Indianapolis, Indiana. Ironically, Burger King also started in 1954 in Miami, Florida, and we are not sure who to credit with the first flame-broiled burger. The flame broiler conveyor belt method was a cornerstone of Burger Chef's cooking process, cooking faster and giving their burgers a unique grilled flavor. This innovation in cooking technology helped Burger Chef gain popularity and expand rapidly. Burger Chef also introduced an ingenious dining experience by letting customers make their burgers with all the fixings at the Works Bar. Burger Chef was the first to introduce the fun meal with a toy for children in 1973, well before McDonald's Happy Meal in 1979. At its peak in 1973, Burger Chef had grown to over 1,050 locations, making it the second largest burger chain in the U.S. However, intense competition, overexpansion, and a tragic event, the unsolved 1978 murders of 4 employees that gained nationwide attention, began to unravel the company. By 1982, financial struggles led to its sale to Hardee's for $44 million. The chain gradually faded away, leaving behind memories of where kids could be kids and parents could enjoy a quick, budget-friendly meal. You get more to like at Burger Chef. Sambo's. This iconic yet controversial family diner was famous for its 24/7 service and unique decor. Who knows, you might have worked there. Sambo's started in 1957 in Santa Barbara, California, and was founded by Sam Battistone and Newell Bonnet. They associated their brand with the popular children's book, The Story of Little Black Sambo, featuring an Indian child named Sambo outsmarting a tiger, turning him to butter and making pancakes, which the restaurant prides itself on. It was known for its mid-century decor and whimsical art featuring scenes from the story. Sambo's menu was classic American diner fare of breakfasts, steak, burgers, and sandwiches, served in a fun, casual environment. Who remembers 10-cent coffee refills? They expanded to more than 1,100 locations at its peak in the late 70s. Despite its growing popularity, the restaurant's name and imagery became increasingly controversial, and many found it offensive as many remember Sambo as the 1935 American cartoon featuring him as a minstrel caricature. They changed the names of a few restaurants to The Jolly Tiger and No Place Like Sam's. Despite their efforts, the controversy and protests eventually led to its decline, and just a couple of years after they peaked, they filed bankruptcy in 1981. The original Sambo's in Santa Barbara remained and kept the name up until 2020. Today it's called Chad's, after its owner. Just like that, Sambo's became a memory for many.
Hi, I'm Tim Putz, the photographer who took the original images over 40 years ago. These exclusive architectural photographs were taken between 1964 and 1972.
Howard Johnson's. On long family road trips, Howard Johnson's was a sight for sore eyes. The bold name signage, bright orange roofs, and a blue spire beckoned the whole family to come in and enjoy a meal and 28 flavors of ice cream. How can you say no? Howard Johnson started as a soda fountain in Quincy, Massachusetts in 1925 and was founded by Howard Deering Johnson. The restaurant was famous for its classic American comfort food, especially its signature fried clam strips. They offered a casual dining experience, catering primarily to families and travelers on the road. It had a warm, cozy, family-friendly atmosphere. By the 1970s, its 1,000-plus locations made it America's largest restaurant chain. The iconic brand, however, struggled to adapt to fast food trends, facing competition from fast food giants claiming their stake off of highways. Franchise mismanagement and ownership changes led to its downfall in the 1980s. The last Howard Johnson's in Lake George, New York, closed in 2022. Howard Johnson's memories live in those who fondly remember classic American road trips.
I'll have Howard Johnson's good food at home.
Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips. If you introduce something as British as fish and chips, you'd better do it properly. Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips was introduced in 1969 by a group of fast food restaurateurs, including Wendy's Dave Thomas. It was named after the British actor Arthur Treacher, famous for his typecast English butler roles in movies starring Shirley Temple. Arthur was the perfect pitchman for serving authentic fish and chips in America. The battered Atlantic cod paired with malt vinegar and crispy chips was all everyone came for. Decorated with nautical themes and red checkered tables, it evoked Atlantic seaside charm. By the late 1970s, there were over 826 locations, but a Cold War between the UK and Iceland over the fishing of cod raised the cost of importing cod to the US, leading to its decline. Franchise closures followed throughout the 1980s. Today, only 2 locations remain, one in Cleveland and another in Akron, Ohio, keeping the spirit alive in the state where it all started. You can also find Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips at Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs locations, as they are the franchisor today.
Oh, there it is. Over here on the TV, they actually play movies that Arthur Treacher acted in.
Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. Before Chuck E. Cheese, there was no place better to celebrate a birthday than Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. Farrell's was founded in 1963 by Bob Farrell and Ken McCarthy in Portland, Oregon. The restaurant transported diners to a festive bygone era of seaside boardwalks. With its early 1900s decor, pianos playing, and servers dressed up in old-timey costumes banging drums, their whimsical theme quickly became a beloved family tradition. Known for its over-the-top ice cream sundaes, the Zoo was stretchered and paraded through the restaurant in spectacular fashion with all the bells and whistles. You either felt special or embarrassed. If you didn't care about being embarrassed, you can order the trough. Sunday you ate like a pig with your face. By the end of eating it, you got a ribbon that said, "I made a pig of myself at Farrell's." The success of Farrell's caught the attention of the Marriott Corporation, which purchased the chain in 1972. At its peak in 1975, Farrell's had over 120 locations nationwide. However, in the 80s, changes in ownership and shifting dining trends led to its decline. From the 90s through the 2000s, only a handful of restaurants continued to operate independently. From 2008, Farrell's enjoyed a brief revival, but hit hard times in 2016 and was featured in an episode of CNBC's The Prophet. Ultimately, all the locations in Hawaii and Southern California closed by 2019. You never know with this timeless theme. The good times could return.
You always have a party at Farrell's.
Sizzler. Just the name will evoke a vision of sizzling platters of steak. The sound and aroma will delight you. You can almost taste it. Sizzler was founded by Del and Helen Johnson in 1958 in Culver City, Los Angeles. It became a quintessential American dining experience. It was known for its casual, family-friendly vibe, where anyone could enjoy a high-quality steak dinner without the hefty price tag. The first thing people often recall is the sizzling sounds of steaks arriving at their table, a sensory treat that made every visit feel special. The restaurant exuded warmth, with wood-paneled interiors, cozy booths, and a salad bar. Sizzler revolved around great-tasting food for great value. Their steak and shrimp combo, buttery cheese toast, and decadent desserts like chocolate mousse delighted the taste buds. At its peak in the late 1970s, Sizzler had over 270 locations. In the 80s, competition from other steakhouses like Ponderosa, Bonanza, and Steak and Ale had Sizzler respond with all-you-can-eat fried shrimp, the buffet court, and free grilled cheese bread rolls. Unfortunately, the changes weren't enough, as competition, economic downturns, and shifting dining habits led to the closure of many locations. Sizzler's filed for bankruptcy in 1996. New management emerged from the bankruptcy the following year. The chain was sold to an Australian investment firm in 2005, which has owned Sizzlers in Australia. Sizzlers in the U.S. changed hands again in 2011 to its current owner, Sizzler USA. The brand still lives on at 84 locations west of the Rocky Mountains and Puerto Rico. The American dining experience continues to thrive at Sizzlers in Japan and Thailand, where their ownership has no connection to their U.S. counterpart.
Sizzler introduces a new kind of dining with two completely different dining experiences in one restaurant.
Red Barn. With its barn-shaped buildings and down-home feel, Red Barn was a fast food chain that made customers feel like they were dining straight from the farm. Founded in 1961 by Don Six, Martin Levine, and Jim Kirst in Springfield, Ohio, Red Barn quickly stood out with its distinctive architecture and innovative self-service salad bars. Signature menu items like the Big Barney and the Barnbuster were popular, and their catchy slogan, "When the Hungries hit the Red Barn," echoed across America. By the early 1970s, Red Barn had expanded to over 300 U.S., Canadian, and Australian locations. Ownership of Red Barn had changed hands in the late 60s and in 1978. However, by the late 80s, financial difficulties began to plague its parent company, Motel 6, and eventually they decided to sell the remaining restaurants. The last two Red Barns in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin were renamed to The Farm and closed in 2014 and 2015. Today, while the brand is gone, some of its distinctive barn-shaped buildings still stand, repurposed for other businesses, as a reminder of the once thriving chain that brought people a touch of the countryside.
Could this be a Red Barn left over?
Lum's. If there was a restaurant that was a roller coaster ride, this was it. Brothers Clifford and Stuart Perlman purchased a modest Miami Beach diner in 1956 and transformed it into a culinary phenomenon. Famous for its beer-steamed hot dogs and hearty comfort food, Lum's quickly became a staple of American dining, where families and road trippers made countless memories. Have you ever tried hot dogs steamed in beer? Lum's was so successful that by 1969, the company had gone public. By 1971, it had expanded to over 400 locations nationwide. Their success caught the eye of the mastermind behind Kentucky Fried Chicken, John Y. Brown, who bought out the Perlman brothers. They took that money and went to Las Vegas. No, not to gamble, but to buy Caesar's Palace for $60 million. John enhanced Lum's brand by introducing the Ollie Burger, featuring marinated patties and a bun sauce with over 30 ingredients, a recipe he paid $1 million for. He also added star power, having comedy legend Milton Berle pitch the burger. Sadly, Brown couldn't replicate the same success as he did with KFC, and the number of Lum's restaurants started to dwindle. He was more focused on his political ambitions, eventually becoming Kentucky's governor. Lum's was sold to Wienerwald in 1978. The Swiss company struggled to maintain its legacy, and bankruptcy in 1982 signaled the decline. The final Lum's restaurant was in Nebraska and closed its doors in 2017, leaving behind a legacy of good food as great memories.
The secret is they steamed them in beer. There ain't a better hot dog in America.
And had removed 2 ceiling panels.
Shakey's Pizza. If you were a kid in the 70s, we bet you had many post-game Little League pizza parties and birthdays here. Shakey's Pizza was founded in 1954 by Sherwood Shakey Johnson and Ed Plummer in Sacramento, California. The restaurant quickly became a popular chain known for its pizza, fried chicken, and fun atmosphere. The Shakey's concept combined family-friendly dining with entertainment, as most locations featured live music. Their slogan was, "We serve fun at Shakey's, also pizza." Shakey personally played Dixieland jazz and banjo music. He grew the business by opening pizza shops following Kinney's Shoes locations. By the time Shakey sold his interest in the company in 1967 for $3 million, there were 272 Shakey's pizzas. His partner, Ed Plummer, followed a year later and sold his half for $9 million. Despite Shakey not being involved, the music and fun continued in the 70s, but eventually that too started to fade. Ownership changed hands again in 1974 when the chain was sold to the Hunt brothers through their company, Hunt International Resources. They were notorious for buying a lot of silver in the late 70s, hedging against inflation. At the time of the sale, Shakey's had more than 500 locations across the U.S., including Canada and Japan. Shakey's Pizza was sold 3 times more in 1984 and in 1989, and to the current owners, Jack Marcorp, in 2004. They own 47 locations, primarily concentrated in Southern California. If you live outside of California, chances are you won't have a Shakey's Pizza. Or will you? A Shakey's Pizza franchise established in the Philippines in 1975 announced in 2024 its plans to expand into the U.S. It will be interesting to see how that plays out.
Snow thin like Shakey's.
There you have it. If you enjoyed this video, watch 11 restaurant chains that are no longer around.